Okay, so we asked for feedback on what y'all thought we should do the live stream on, because mostly all the other live streams have been like just live Q&A, just any questions y'all may have, and we can still do that. I just wanted to basically go because we only got actually one person feedback on what we should do this live stream for this month on. And her comment was she'd like to hear steps people should be taking to get into the business that are not quite financially ready to begin immediately. What books should you all be reading? What resources should you be looking into? How should you prepare so that within the next 1 to 5 years you can begin your first flip? So, number one resource right now, I think y'all should go and join our free mini course on
Definitely.
wholesaling, because if you've been like following us a little bit on YouTube and even following us on the Winner Circle page, we feel that wholesaling is like a stepping stone to flipping. We feel like anyone that wants to get into flipping should at least do a couple of wholesale deals, because that gives you insight of how much things cost, um, how to run comps, how to get real after repair values, and how to market deals.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, so I looked at that question, but when I got to
the 1 to 5 years,
the 1 to 5 years, that made me
me
start to
too.
question if it was wholesaling or rehabbing, because I can
Right.
see how you would want to take some time to get into rehabbing, because you
Well,
do
she
have to
says
have.
begin your first flip. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because okay, well yeah,
yeah,
so yeah,
right.
definitely start with
Definitely start with
wholesaling then. Yeah.
wholesaling. So that would be the main thing. Start with wholesaling, and also get your resources together. Start researching lenders. What type of lending you want to go with? Whether
Mm-hmm.
it be private money, whether it be you want to use friends and family, which is still kind of considered private money. If you have a 401k that you want to use to purchase properties, figure out how you're going to be purchasing these properties if we're talking about a flip. If we're talking about wholesale, then you know that you don't need a ton of money up front to do that. And we're not here to lie to people and say you don't need any money to wholesale, because
Because you definitely do.
you definitely
It's
do.
a lot of that out there saying no money, get started, no money real estate and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's lies.
Exactly.
Lies.
Exactly. So get your resources together. So as far as resources to be looking into, we recommend type of funding you would like to use to purchase your properties. What type of leads are best for you to go after, because different type of leads require different type of work. Well, all of them require work, but some of them require a little bit more than others, because some of them are low hanging fruit. So it's tons of competition, tons of competition everywhere around you in real estate, especially if you're in some of the high demand markets like Houston. But we feel as though some of them take a little bit more work, so because they're not like readily available for everyone. And so
Mm.
with those, you'll find a lot of return on your time, monetary return on your time, because a lot of people are not going out putting in the effort. So your target audience, your target lead source, and
Mm-hmm.
also buyers. And I know that's a little weird when you're saying a flip, but sometimes you sign a contract and you potentially want to do it as a flip, but it don't turn out that way, and you may need someone to sell
Yeah.
it to right off. Anything can really go wrong when you're doing real estate. We don't want to try to put it out there like it's all butterflies and
Easy.
sunshine
Yeah.
all the time, because a lot of stuff happens. Right now, Corey knows this. I shared that with him today, and I shared that with his brother the other day. We have a property that we bought back in June, and the lady is still living there, and she pays us rent every month, but we're now almost 3 months in, and normally by this time we're at the
Done.
closing table. We have our
Yeah.
money in hand. We're moving on to the next one. So now we're at the crossroads to where we have to decide if we want to flip it or do we want to go ahead and just wholesale to someone else and move on to the next flip because we
Yeah.
have another one starting next month.
Yeah, like maybe wholesale it to more of a landlord buyer or something. Shit. They already have a tenant.
Right.
So
Well,
they don't even
actually,
have to worry about
she'll
that.
be moving out soon. But either way, it'll be easy. The area it'll be easy to either flip or a landlord. Either way, it's hot and popping area right now. A lot of young people are moving to the area. It's a lot of gentrification going on. So yeah. So as far as resources, that's what we recommend. Books. We felt and
you know what? I can go get a couple. Well, here's one right here for our work week. That's one.
Yeah. So Marcus is I need to pull Marcus. Don't leave me here with this computer. You know I'm not.
What you need? Hold up, wait.
Okay. Look. So one is the 4-hour work week, and Marcus is the reader and the technical resource of our little duo. So I have not finished reading the 4-hour work week. I'll be honest and open with y'all there. But it does outline a lot of good skills and mindset process to get you to work in that 4-hour work week. And it's a little some of it's a little excessive. You have to kind of take these books and mold it to your lifestyle because a lot of the books are it may not fit where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do or where you're currently at in life. So we can wait on Marcus to bring back a couple more books that I have finished reading. But 4-hour work week, it was a bit excessive for me. I'll be honest. That's why I didn't finish it. Vanessa's still on mute. Okay. So again, just going back over the questions. As far as resources, you want to get your lending, your target audience, and build up your buyers and your buyers list. So those are the three things. And I don't. One thing I want to put out there, as far as when people are asking about books and resources, we don't want people to get caught up in trying to build those things up because it's like analysis paralysis. Like you get so caught up into trying to build these lists, build your resources and stuff, and you start using it as an excuse. It's an excuse not to put in the real work. So that's the way I feel about that. It's just like, glad you said that, Shake. Some of them are excessive. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was telling them that I had to be honest, I didn't finish reading this, but it had a lot of good tools and mindset tricks. But when we're giving them these books to read, and some of the stuff we read, some of it can be a little excessive on
this book was. I mean, it was cool. So what I got from that book was the power of like outsourcing.
Did you get Rich 20 something?
No, I didn't get that one.
Right.
The power of outsourcing. So after we read this, then we realized that we took way too long to hire a VA.
Right.
So all the making calls and like following up on like titles and all that kind of stuff is stuff that we could have just been checking in on rather than doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and that stuff saved time. So it's more so like it taught us how to begin to scale in business, which is important because when it's all said and done, you build this thing up, right? And you want to at some point take yourself out of it. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be working, 17-hour days the entire time you're in this business. At some point, I'm going to want to be able to take like a 2-week vacation and not have to worry about my rehabs, not have to worry about, if my cold callers are getting leads and all that kind of stuff because it's not on me at that point. Like I don't have to be on the phone. I can go take my family and we can go to Puerto Rico or wherever the heck we want to go and my business can still function. That's really what I got out of this one.
Yeah, it teaches you more so how
to scale.
Yeah.
Now this guy messed around and scaled his entire life. So he didn't just scale his business. He was scaling like crazy. He was he teaching people how to like scale like their 9-to-5s and everything. It's crazy. like you're getting paid, but you're outsourcing your job task to somebody else. Like he gets he gets deep. So I mean, whatever floats your boat. I don't know if I'll get that deep to where I don't even have to do anything like on my own, but it does give you like a beginner's guide to kind of start scaling this stuff.
Kelly was saying she can't get on downloading. I have no idea.
She have to use the app.
She said it was on her phone. Sorry, we're trying to get one of our other members on, guys. So do y'all have any questions for us? Specific questions about stuff y'all have going on? How you want to run your business? Any questions about how to get started? I know Andre. We done like a shadow thing on yesterday. Was that yesterday? I feel like I've been doing a lot. That was yesterday.
Yeah, that was
yesterday. So that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that because a lot of times it's just me because during the week. I don't want to discount the work he puts in. During the week,
I do a lot.
You do a lot of behind the scenes, but like going out during the week visiting the properties, it was good to be able to talk to someone and show them. It was very fulfilling. Show them what I do on an everyday basis. So that was cool.
Yeah. All right, Andre, I'm about to put you on the spot because I see you typing. I'm about to unmute you. I want to hear your voice, dude. I know it sounds weird, but go ahead, man. Andre?
What's up?
There you go. I was like, man, I want to hear you. I see you typing.
I'm sorry, man. I'm cooking. I didn't even know you were talking.
Oh, snap. My bad.
Oh, he said he saw you typing. Look, he's trying to put you on the spot.
No, I was thanking her for showing me the ropes yesterday as far as walking through the process of doing her rehabs and showing me a couple of the rehabs. I enjoyed it and I learned a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so you took him to the... Nah, I'm getting
I took him...
we went to Tomball and went to another property over by Klein Forest.
Okay.
Look, Corey, you didn't even know...
you saw some good stuff, man.
Yeah. Corey, you didn't even know we've been over there yesterday. I'm bringing guests by. Corey is actually one of the contractors that is working on the Tomball house. Corey, I don't want to tell your business. You want to give a little bit background on yourself? I hate to put people on the spot, but...
No, we don't. It helps, man.
Go ahead, Corey.
Okay, what's going on, guys? I'm in the car right now, by the way, also. We're leaving the house right now.
Oh, nice!
What's up?
But, me and my brother, we started this a while back, and it's been going good. I feel the hardest part was meeting, I guess, honest investors that are fair.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate y'all. I'm saying thank y'all for everything, helping us. And we kind of excited to work with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're excited to get you guys going, man.
Yeah. Corey and his brother, they're trying to step on the other side of the business, and we're hoping that we can be a resource to them while they're a resource to us on the rehab portion, the construction portion, because we're not experts in that area. Not just yet. We have some knowledge, but we're not experts. So we're just wanting to help them while they help us and just be a resource to each other. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It's crazy because like Corey, you guys, like we're kind of thinking about it. You guys are so set up. Like,
right.
Y'all have a lot of resources just in what you guys doing, and because we met an investor that you guys are kind of working with now has quite a bit of resources. So our objective right now is to just build upon that.
Right.
So I know this is your first time on the stream. I said we appreciate you being here, but like we're complete transparent, honest. We teach everybody here every single thing we know. So if there's ever any questions or if you want to know how to get started or anything like that, just hit us up, man.
We want y'all to even start pounding us with questions. Write them down.
That's the thing.
Write them down.
This live stream, the course, everything that we're doing right now has absolutely nothing to do with us. This is about you guys.
Right. So we want y'all to start pounding us with questions. Start putting them in the group. Come to the live stream with questions. We're going to start bringing guests for the month.
Yeah.
To start giving y'all just viewpoints outside of ours. People that is actually in the game, doing real estate, doing investing, doing some of the work on the rehab. So maybe we'll bring y'all in, Corey, one month, and y'all could actually show people how to properly estimate repairs from a contractor standpoint. So that'd be great. Cool. Yeah, that'd be great, because that's like one of the number one questions. Y'all could be like a great resource for us. That's like one of the number one questions we get. The top two would be how to calculate ARV and how to estimate repairs. So that would be awesome.
Especially like the rehab. How y'all deal with contractors?
Exactly.
It's not as hard as you think. But,
right. Okay. And when some people, before they even get started, before they even like send out any marketing or anything, they were like, they don't want to get started because they don't know how to deal with contractors. We were like, that's the least of your worries. Really you gotta worry about how you gonna get a
property. You don't even have anything.
Exactly. So yeah, I would love to have y'all on 1 month and even just be a resource in the group. Now that you're on there, Corey, like if people have questions, that's just one of the things. It's just a large collaboration, like people helping people. So.
Yeah. So far, I know for a fact we've locked in a realtor, title company, and an investor to come speak and kind of, give their perspective on things.
So the next 3 months to close out, how many months we have? 3 or 4 months left in the year. We're hoping to have guest people. We'll of course still be there for any questions y'all have, but guest people to come in to give y'all like different aspects of the business.
And then another real estate investor, because I get this all the time. Like people will say like their area is way too expensive to invest in.
Yeah.
Man, we know somebody in California who is killing it. I mean, this dude is just like...
Oh, she got it. Hey, Kelly.
Banging it out, man. Hey. So, and I know there's someone in here from like Washington, D.C. That's another very expensive area. Yeah. But we want to bring those kind of people on to show you that you can do that even in those kind of markets.
Right. So Kelly just joined. I'm gonna put her on the spot as well. Kelly is the realtor that we use on all of our projects now. So and she's brought us deals as well. So I believe we done a video on that before on how using realtors are important. I know a lot of investors don't like using realtors because they don't want to pay them. Probably not. I know Andre, you can probably feel this too. Andre Kelly is another realtor that's in the group. I know y'all probably feel this thing sometimes. Well, not really, but sometimes investors don't want to use realtors because they don't want to pay the full 6%. You're automatically going to have to pay the 3% for the buyer's agent, but they don't want to spend the extra 3%. But for us, it's well worth the cost, because again,
Kelly can sell a house better than
she not only the fact that she can sell a house really fast, but the professionalism and the peace of mind, not having to deal with all the paperwork and everything. I mean, we literally just sit back and like find out when closing date is. So
and all the gotcha, she's protected us from some stuff too.
Yeah.
She's like, what is this? I was like, I don't know.
Andre, I know you saw the YouTube video on the deal we had to pass up when we had to pass up on the home run. Mm-hmm. It was Kelly that protected us from that. So pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Dealing with realtors, because they know how to read paperwork. They know how to do a little bit more investigating sometimes than some new investors, or even some investors period, because they know all the rules and guidelines that you may not have experienced before. So Vanessa, why is her microphone keep disappearing?
I can't even unmute her because
she has no microphone.
Okay. Yeah, I want to talk to them too, because they've done some door knocking.
Yeah. Now she's back. Yeah. Vanessa?
Yeah, they went door knocking in a gated community. I don't think we never like went into
it. Okay, she's there. Hey Vanessa, how are you? Hello?
Is that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
there
you.
You go.
How are you?
Yeah, my bad. I lost audio for a while that I was driving.
Oh, okay. Don't get in an accident now. You still driving?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I made it to the house safely.
Okay,
Oh,
all
cool.
right. We just wanted to, get your experience from door knocking because a lot of people are afraid of even getting on the phone. Door knocking is a totally different experience. So,
Yeah,
want to get your
completely
experience on.
different, but man, that works.
Our first deal came from our first W-2 deal came from door knocking.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Vanessa.
It was interesting. I was super nervous. Even riding there, I was like, "Babe, you sure? Like, should we go?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, it's just people. It'll be all right."
Yeah.
So we, like,
You're breaking up really bad. Okay. So I'll give y'all my experience with door knocking. Vanessa, you can go ahead and put it back on mute because we can't hear you. You're breaking that really bad. So our first deal came from door knocking. Well, first W-2 deal came from door knocking, and before we got that deal, we had knocked on a lot of doors because we didn't have a lot of money for marketing. So that was one of the resources that we were using that was free, minus the gas expense. So just knocking on people's doors, finding their information on public records, knocking on their doors, and y'all, I would literally pray that people wouldn't answer the door because I just want to be able to say I at least tried.
Yeah.
But that wasn't good enough. That wasn't going to give me a deal. So when I actually started getting my mind right and saying, I'm going to really like find a deal this way, I would go back to houses multiple times to try to see, if cars are in the driveway, if someone actually lives there, and knock on the door. So my first deal actually came from someone that lived in an apartment complex, and you needed a code to get in the gate. I followed a car in, went and found their apartment, knocked on their door, to try to get me to sell them. Try to get them to sell me their house that they had moved out of around the corner, right. And we ended up getting it. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, just like cold calling. It just takes practice
right.
after a while. And then when you get to talk to people, you find out that people are a lot nicer than what you think.
Right.
Especially door knocking.
Right.
On the phone, every once in a while, you get that person that'll just go left. But for the most part, it's just not as bad.
Right. So Kelly and Andre, I'm gonna put y'all on the spot again. Kelly is actually gonna be I'm gonna put her on the spot especially. She's gonna be our guest for next month. And we're gonna come up with some pretty cool topics for y'all to ask and talk from a realtor standpoint. But I want to hear from Kelly and Andre on the actual question topic that we got for this week. Some of the things people should be doing now to get them to the point when they can do their first flip. Y'all deal with people all the time buying houses. So to do a flip, you have to purchase the house. So I want to get from a realtor standpoint, what are some of the things that you think people should be doing now to get them ready to purchase their first flip, whether it be a flip they're going to be living in for a while and rehab over time, or, flip quick like we do and resell within the next 1 to 5 years.
So can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hey, this is Kelly. So I would just say the first step is looking at the finances and seeing what timeline is going to work for what you're trying to achieve, right? So either whether it's with a lender, your hard money lender, or traditional lender, whatever that means, because essentially if you are looking forward to doing this, you may need to do things right now in relation to paying off certain things for debt to income to get where you need to be able to get that loan, again, whether it's with a traditional lender or a hard money lender or whatever that looks like. So if you're looking out for the next couple of months to look for something, I think it's important, step one being look at your financial situation if you're not paying cash and figure out what does that look like, how much will you have to put down, because if you already live in a home and you're buying a second home, you may be looking at a minimum of 20% down, things like that. So just educating yourself about the initial cost and then looking in terms of setting a budget up front of how much you can afford to spend on that flip over the amount of time you want to stay there, so that as you're looking for homes that are going to meet your criteria, you're taking that into consideration and you don't fall in love with something that you think, oh yeah, this is it. and it's $50,000 over budget to flip it to where you want to make that money. So to me, that's step one. I could go on all day about planting seeds, about marketing and all of that good stuff to help you find something.
Right.
But I think everybody needs to know, even when I talk to traditional buyers that are buying for a house to live in, sometimes where you think you are and where the lender sees you at are two totally different places. So.
Great tactical advice. Awesome advice.
That's good to know on both sides.
On both sides. And remember me saying that, having the resource, knowing, what type of lending you want to go with, sorry, I lost my train of thought. And having that buyer's list in hand in case you can't finish that rehab is important. What Kelly just said is especially important if you haven't done your finances right off. You might have to get up off that property really fast. But so doing the finances up front is really important. That way you're not stressing over time while you're holding on to that rehab, because that's like one of the worst situations ever, stressing on how you're going to take care of your personal expenses and hold on to your business assets at the same time. That's very important. So you want to make sure that you're getting to a point to where you're comfortable with possibly having 2 mortgages at the same time, and, being able to sustain that over a period of time. So great tactical advice. Great. Anyone else have anything to add on to that? Nope. Okay. So great advice, Kelly. I appreciate it. I'm sure everyone else does too. Does anyone else have any questions? Because I feel like we really went over
I want to talk
really
about,
fast.
because we were talking about finances and stuff like that. I realized we never put out any, a video or anything like that. I think we're going to do it about how much it does take to, get started. Ideally, what are you looking at?
I thought we put that on YouTube and in the course, but we can talk about it. Okay, go ahead. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of I've been looking at a lot of videos that are telling you you need X amount of. Well, first of all, I feel like whether you go with wholesaling or rehabbing, or whether you use a bunch of money or a bunch of time, I feel like you're gonna need a lot of something.
Yeah. So you can talk about Andre said do that.
About, how we got started too,
yeah, so I prefer to let's talk about how much money it takes to get started to flip a house, because we've talked about pretty much plenty of times how much it takes to get started wholesaling. It really is gonna depend on people's budget.
How much they can afford a week, consistently every single week.
Right, and you need to be sending out. If you're sending out letters, our advice and what we've experienced and the amount of mailers it takes, we would say at least 500 mailers a week.
Yeah, if you can't hit that, then that's
whether you're sending out postcards or letters. But that's if you're sending out physical mail. If you're doing phone calls, then your budget will be a little bit different, because just the amount of money it takes to do skip trace leads and.
And I think even with skip tracing, you'll have to at minimum do 40, 50 calls a day to get things steadily coming in.
Right.
Deals steadily coming down the pipeline.
Right. When I was working, I was making phone calls on my lunch break, and then I would make calls after work as well. But go ahead and talk about how much it takes to. Or do you want me to do it to get started on the flip?
We can have a full on.
Okay, go ahead.
So all right, well, our story, especially when it came down to things like draws and stuff like that, we didn't plan for that.
Right.
Now, luckily, and that's when things like gap funding and all that stuff come in. But if you're not dependent upon that, you have to think about like Kelly said, the down payments and stuff like that. Even if you're using hard money and stuff like that, most lenders, they'll do 3 points down, which is basically 3%, right? Then you have your closing costs for that property. So I just did one for a friend. If I can get hold on, I'll pull it out, because I had to take a picture, because I was like, man, Like, I don't think you.
And going back to that, I would say on our first flip, we probably wasn't ready to start flipping.
We were not ready.
We were not ready to start flipping, but sometimes you just got to get out there and bump your head and realize what it really takes. So that's why I can really feel Kelly's response, because if we would have really sat down and analyzed and really talked to someone about what it actually takes to get lending for a flip, we would have understood the amount of money we needed, because again, we knew that we needed the 3% down, which when you're talking to a hard money lender, when they're asking you for 3 points, that's 3% of your entire loan. So if you're getting $100,000 loan, you're paying them $3,000 at closing when you're buying it, plus any closing costs, which could range from anywhere from about, I don't know, $1,000 to $2,000. Kelly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it just depends on if you're paying the buyer's, the seller's closing costs as well. And then you're gonna have extra fees from your lender. You're gonna have document fees. You're gonna have processing fees, and just depending on what lender you're going with, those fees can be anywhere from $300 to $750. So those little small things really add up.
That's what got us.
Right. And then you have to pay, HOA fees and stuff if the house is in a neighborhood that has HOA. So with our first flip, we bought it for $145,000 total. Well, we bought it for $115,000. The rehab was $30,000. So our lender lent us $145,000. So we paid a total of about $9,000 just in closing costs at the closing table when we bought it. So that pretty much wiped us out. Then so again, he lent us the $30,000 for the rehab, but they hold that in escrow. So meaning that, and he put it in the documents that we could do 3 draws. Some lenders do however many draws you want. But our particular lender, he told us that you can do 3 draws of $10,000. That meant that we needed to come up with at least $10,000 to get started. So, seeing as though that $9,000 wiped us out, that extra 10, we were looking stupid. Like, okay, what are we gonna do? Like, how are we gonna come up with $10,000 to pay these contractors? No contractor is gonna get started with no money down. So that's when we had to reach out to friends and everybody to, try to help us come up with money. That's not even including paying the mortgage on the property every month, the interest on the property. That's not even including insurance on the property. Because you have to, your lender is going to require, just like your home that you own, it's going to require you to get insurance on the property. So
at that point, we were using just 9 to 5 money to pay for everything.
Right. And luckily, and I give credit's due. Luckily, we did have a partner at that time. My sister partnered with us on our first flip, so it wasn't like all the load we carried. We split everything 50-50, and after the closing costs, we split all the holding costs 50-50. So it wasn't like a huge burden, but for someone that don't have the type of partnership and doesn't know that this is what it takes, that can be a heavy burden. So again, that's why I appreciated that comment and that tactical advice, because it can get pretty heavy, especially if you're holding on to your properties a long time. Again, it was our first flip. It had a tenant in there. He took a month before he even moved out. So we got to our first payment with our lender before the guy even moved out, and he never paid us a dime. And then you got to get started with the rehab. The rehab took 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, one of them. 5, and then
the things that really tripped us up, and I think we were like 2 or 3 rehabs in that we didn't even account for, was things like the closing costs, the realtor fees. We were like kind of doing the closing costs on the front end, but we wasn't taking into the consideration selling it.
Right.
So realtor fees and like the closing costs and all that stuff. Like the first deal, we did like a what do you call that thing? What? It's like a listing service. We didn't even go through the first one.
To list our first one, we went through. I'm not going to promote the company because I'm not even going to say their name. They wasn't that great. We went through. Look at Kelly. We went through a listing service, and they were not that great. So I won't even say their name here. I'm not promoting them at all. And we felt as though because they were charging us a monthly cost, they were like withholding stuff like for a certain amount of time. Like if we got an offer in, they would withhold it for like a day or so before they even gave it to us, because I'm guessing they were hoping that the offer falls through so we can keep using their service another month.
Yeah,
so
the longer we took the sale, the more they made, and I think they were kind of capitalizing on that a bit.
Right.
So I'm trying the numbers real quick on that one if you want.
What?
Because even one that I was helping, I thought he was going to be on the call, but James, he kind of came to me with a deal that he was looking to get, and the ARV on that one was, and this is how crazy things can get. The ARV on this property was $322,197, and the 70% value of that was $225. And what he thought that he would have like a much bigger profit. He was planning a profit like 60, 70 and stuff like that. But then once I broke down like the rehab, well, what it's going to take, like once you factor in like the rehab costs, the closing costs, the monthly payments, and I didn't even calculate the rehab costs. I took the 3% closing cost to purchase. Then I took like how much the payments would be for 3 months, because it's very hard to get in and out of a property, especially if the ARV is that high in less than 3 months. So even that's kind of being like right on the edge. And then the realtor fees and closing costs. And what I told him that he's looking at about $52,000 before he even factors in the rehab. And this particular property was in 3rd Ward.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have a rehab cost. I don't care what you're buying in that area, unless you're buying like brand new, you're gonna have a rehab cost.
But we're kind of getting. Oh, well, I see where you went through all the costs and everything. You kind of got to profit too.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, yeah, so you're gonna come out of pocket $21,000.
Oh, okay. That's why I wanted to get you. I want you to.
Yeah, no. I got it.
So let's give like a real life example, like our first rehab. So that's like a potential one, and you see how you're out of pocket $21,000 to make $52,000, and that's before you done any rehab work on the house.
And your rehab is gonna be at least $25,000.
We've never had a rehab that was under $25,000, and that's just all cosmetic.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so on our first property, we paid $9,000 in closing. Our monthly interest fees were about $1,300, so that's $3,900. And so the $9,000 plus the $3,900, you're already at $13,000 basically, $12,900. And then you want to factor in that $10,000 that we didn't know we were going to have to pay our contractors right off. So you won't get that money back right away. You're going to have to wait until the rehab is done. So if the rehab is a month, you got to be okay with that $10,000 being out of your bank account, and you cannot access it for at least until your rehab is over. So again, that's another $10,000. So we're at $22,900. That's a lot of money out of pocket. And then plus insurance, which was about $1,200. I don't know if it was for a year or 6 months, whatever. So we're at $24,000. And a lot of people think you can get started, with rehabbing with $10,000, $15,000. Yeah, you can sometimes. It just, not really. You can't. Not really.
That's why we encourage you guys to do a couple wholesale deals, get some of that money in your building, then start rehabbing.
Right. So that's just a realistic cost of how much it costs to get started on the rehab. That you purchase low end $115,000, put about $30,000 into it with realistic hard money terms. The terms were 3 points closing. I believe it was 12% annually.
The very first,
So Kelly, I don't know if you ever heard hard money terms, but it's a lot higher than the rest.
12% annually. That's
yeah. So but realistically, you're looking at at least $20,000 to get started if you're cool. I knew you had $20,000 to get started if you're looking at being able to pay your contractor that first draw, and then paying your closing costs. And then also, I wish Andre was still on the phone because he was with me when the draw inspector came on yesterday for the Tomball house. Draws also cost.
Yeah.
They're not free. For that inspector to come out, they charge you a fee. Our lender, particularly, he charges us $150 every time we do a draw. So, yeah. I should say, but you get the money you need. It's high risk for them, so you pay more. Yes,
Yeah.
worth it if you can sell it. Exactly.
Yep.
That is exactly right. You get the money you need. That's the most important thing because they are lending you the money not only for purchase, but the amount of money you need to get the rehab done. It's just that you got to come up with the money for the first draw. I mean, that's just what it is. What it is. So hey. Anything else, guys? Corey, y'all have any questions about on the buying side, acquiring properties, acquisitions? Vanessa? Nope. Kelly, questions, comments? Nope. Okay. I think we can wrap this one up. Oh, I have one. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Vanessa. You can take if you have your audio fixed, you can take it off mute and just.
All right, we took you off mute.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, what do you say to buyers when calling them when building your list? So I have a list of buyers. I have some of their contact information. What do I say to them whenever I call them? Because I don't necessarily have a deal to present them with the deal, but I would like to add them to my buyers list.
Yeah, so that's crazy because we just had someone reach out to us asking us if they can get if we can get on their buyers list. And where is that?
That email was pretty long.
Nah, of course you can sum it up.
So Mark is going to read you an email from a wholesaler that reached out to us asking us to get on their buyers list. But my recommendation when you're reaching out to buyers, you could just basically right off you want to explain who you are and what you're doing, and basically tell them that you're starting wholesaling and you would like to add them to your buyers list. Just calling them to figure out what their criteria is, so you can basically focus, put some of your focus on the areas and the criteria that they would like to, do business in the future with them.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna read. Yeah, this is super long.
Yeah, that's what
so basically, what you want to do is ask for the criteria and just stress that you're trying to find ways to add value to them.
Right.
So, however, you can kind of craft that to let them know that yes, you're in the business, yes, you're a serious wholesaler, and you're basically just trying to figure out what criteria they need, like Shakey said, and you're out to meet that criteria. And yeah, from there it's either going to be a yes or a no. Pretty much. I mean, we told this person yes because in this email she was talking about what was she saying? She was talking about the areas that she's already in, which matched ours, and then she was saying she's willing to go outside that criteria if we're willing to add her. So basically, she's saying, yes, I'm already out there, I'm already looking for deals, and I'm searching in this area, but if you allow me to add you to my buyers list, then I will do all I can to kind of add value to your business as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And emails like that don't hurt either. If you have their email address, you can go ahead and put together just a standard email to send out. And one thing that really stood out to me as a buyer in her email was the fact that she said they have a portfolio that they're putting together of properties in the Heights. And she said due to high demand, they're only taking the first 5 bids that come in.
Yeah.
To me, that was good because some wholesalers, they'll keep taking every offer that comes in, and it only drives the price up.
Right.
So if you're only taking the first 5, that puts a little pressure on me to get my bid in first, but it's not as much pressure as trying to make sure you outbid 100 other buyers. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that I mean, I hope that answered your question.
And matter of fact, was it last week? I had somebody just was like, "Sure, you can do that," because we were periodically, we were just talking about having a buyers list of our own, just in case something silly happens. And I got back to building on ours, and somebody, I want to say the name so bad, but I'm not. She figured that since I was able to actually get her information, like I didn't even skip trace it. I just went through public records, Googled it, and then once I found out what the company's name was, I was able to figure out what the owner's name was, and got all the way down to the phone number. And she figured since I was able to do all of that, then I would have no problems getting properties for her. She can already kind of tell that I have been already like either researching properties or something to be able to get her information and get her on the phone.
Right.
So emails are great, but getting all the way to the phone number is great as well because they can already see that you're willing to go the extra mile, do your due diligence, and help them out.
Right.
Okay, awesome. I didn't even think about going through the public record. I remember seeing their name and their address, but I'm pretty sure if I dug a little deeper in the document, I probably could find their phone number as well.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't find it in the actual document. So I looked at the LLC that it was under, and then if you go all the way down to the bottom of the deed of trust, there's a signature at the bottom. So they have like the printed name, and then they have like the signature. So I just took the printed name and Googled it with that LLC, and stuff just kind of started popping up, and I just started digging deeper and deeper and deeper. Start finding names, start Googling names, and went to Facebook, and just most of the time, if they're buyers, they have a Facebook page, right? So I went there and saw numbers and started texting and all that kind of stuff, and she was like, "Man, how on earth did you find my number? Because it's not listed." Well, yeah.
Yeah. I was laughing because I just Googled our LLC name, which I never done, but I just Googled it, and yeah, our buyer's number is like right there.
Yeah.
Our business number is like right there. So yeah. All right. So any other questions, Vanessa?
No, not at this time. We just started calling sellers. And
really?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Have you gotten anybody on the phone?
Like a couple of days. I've gotten a couple people on the phone. The house with the people that I've been calling, and maybe I should have did it a different way, but a lot of their houses are being foreclosed and being sold in the auction on 9/4.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've gotten in contact with like the relative of one person.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to one guy and he told me that it wasn't him, but I still sent him a text message anyway. Because I knew it was a mobile number.
Yeah.
He used to them calls now.
He was like, "Oh no, this is not so and so." I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, I said his wife's name. He was like, "No, I don't know anybody of that name." I was like, "Okay." And so I just politely sent him a text message right after, just to at least let him know, what I was calling about, just in case he was at least interested.
Right.
And then I also got in contact with another seller, but he had already sold his house. So maybe just a few days too late. I'm not exactly sure when he sold it, but he was real polite. And I guess he knew kind of what I was calling about when I gave my introduction. I basically followed the same script that you gave in the course. And
look at you.
I don't know.
And that's what I was saying. When you follow that script, a lot of times you're going to get rushed off the phone because you got to understand, like a lot of people are sending out mailers now. It's also a ton of people that's starting to skip trade. So they're getting bombarded by mailers and phone calls. So they've already talked to someone before you even called 9 times out of 10. So a lot of them, like when you give your whole little spiel on who you are, no, not interested, and they'll just like rush you off the phone and hang up.
Yeah, so, which is cool. I wouldn't let that discourage you. I mean, that happens.
Yeah, just wanted to.
Absolutely not. I'm still trying to get comfortable on the phone because it's a totally different experience. It's I don't know. It's a little bit better than going to the door, but yeah, it's still a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It's like, this person doesn't know me. Why should they even talk to me? I screen my own phone calls personally, so it's like, why would y'all talk to me?
You would be surprised. People will tell you their life story. Yeah. But also, Marcus, we were just talking about this yesterday. He said the main question you get is, how did you get my number? How did you get my phone number? Not, how did you know my house is getting foreclosed? Yeah. How did you get my phone number? Yeah. And he made an excellent point. Something I hadn't even thought of. I was like, I'm using that. I don't care. He was like, I'm gonna just start saying, I found your information the same way bill collectors do, which is true. It is true.
I was being so funny, like that was like a joke, and she was like, "Oh, okay."
I'm using that, and he was
like, "For real?
You are?" Yep, I'm using that because we use the same software bill collectors use. So hey, if your number is listed the same way bill collectors find it, I can find it. So.
Yeah, my husband said the same thing. He was like, "Why is the Skip Trace giving us 10 numbers back?" I was like, "Well, they may have had the number previously."
Yeah.
I said it may be a relative, or they may have put it on some type of document. I'm like, but somehow it's associated to them. So
yeah,
I said, whatever numbers they give us, we're gonna try each and every one of them.
Yeah, I've gotten in contact with people's kids because your name is on the phone, but then you get the line. Guys like, this is her son. Yeah, can you tell your mom to call me? Or do you have a number? Matter of fact, do you have a number for your mom that I can contact her at? Because if you tell them to call you, you may not get that call. But yeah. So speaking of people talking about it's not them. I've dialed a cell phone number before, and they were like, "Oh, he's not in." Dude, that's you. Like, stop playing with me.
Like your voicemail just said that was you.
Stop playing with me. Yeah, so a lot those text messages are very helpful too. So
yeah, cool, man. I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad to see y'all taking action and go ahead and getting out there. Even if the sale is next week, just getting on the phone and building your confidence up is important. Because my heart still beats fast.
I'm getting a little better, even though my husband told me that I kept on saying He was like, "Hi, my name is Vanessa." I was like, I didn't even notice that I was saying I try to work on it. I wasn't as receptive because I was like, well, I thought I was doing a good job. But I guess I'm over here saying
Yeah, you'll get confident when it's like, a salesman. You can kind of tell when somebody just started the job. They be all timid and stuff, and they like attack them like bulldogs. Like they already know. They start asking you all these questions that they figure you don't know. But you'll get a lot confident, and you'll be able to just answer them right off and get the deal closed.
Speaking of like somebody did ask book, so there is I do have a book for that one, and we've listened to it. It's called Never Split the Difference. It's a book on negotiation tactics, and it is incredible. So if you ever get a chance, since you're already on the phone, like when you get some downtime, I encourage you to read that one. That one's like really good. It's about negotiations, and it's a book by a former FBI hostage negotiator.
I enjoyed it because I don't know if Marcus ever shared with y'all. I haven't, but I'm like a former member of SEAL Team 6. Or I feel like I am. Yeah, I want to be a part of SEAL Team 6 so bad. I feel like they some badasses. But anyway, so yeah, that's a great book, great resource. Build up your confidence.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. So we're right at 8:30. We're gonna let y'all go. We appreciate y'all joining and giving all your advice that you gave and questions. Like, again, I want y'all to start writing your questions down before we even get to the live stream because I want y'all to bombard us with questions. We don't want to be on the live stream. Y'all got any more questions? Y'all got... Throw them at us. We want to be able to... I
want to be like, you know what, we're going to take one more.
Exactly. We want to, because all the questions you have could be helping someone else that is too afraid to ask. So, write them down. Have them ready for us. You want to know how to get a shirt.
Is that what, yeah. Just ask.
No. We send our shirts to everybody when they do that, when they close their first deal.
Oh crap! They did. Oh yeah, because we sent one to.
But Kirsten can get a shirt though.
Yeah. Was that Steven, Tiffany, and Tanya?
Yeah,
they all close their first deals.
Yeah, we're sending y'all. I mean, we'll give y'all a shirt anyway for taking massive action, getting on the phone.
I'll give you a shirt
door knocking,
going into a gated neighborhood.
Kelly, you got one on the way. Yes, ma'am.
And talking to somebody.
Yes,
man.
Yes.
That I would. The gated neighborhood part is.
I know. We say, people when they close their first deal. Kelly, you can close how many deals, girl? You deserve a shirt.
Like 1,000. And
Vanessa and Kirsten deserve a shirt because they're taking massive action. Like, love it. So definitely getting all three of y'all shirts. So that's it. Thank you all so much for all the love. We really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. And we'll see y'all next next month on the live stream, where we're going to have Kelly as our guest speaker. We're going to formally announce it to everyone. So hopefully we'll have even more engagement and have your questions ready. So
cool.
Peace.
See ya.